So I'm speaking as a professor of management in the university and also representing some clusters, which I call to you Valachia e-Hub. It's a digitalization cluster for our region. So let's look into the concept first. What is the concept of new Bauhaus? New European Bauhaus movement is intended to be a bridge between the world of science and technology and the world of art and culture. A way to combine good design with sustainability, a way to bring European Green Deal closer to people's minds and homes, and making tangible comfort and attractiveness of sustainable living. Good design can improve lives, a movement to think and make experiment in space. This was the initial concept when it was created, not very far away in time, in 2021. So, but I made my research because I'm not an architect, but I'm very excited about this world of architects and construction. So I followed this even when I was young. I intended to follow the path of architect, but I quit that path due to some let's say emotional circumstances. I cannot tell right now. Maybe later I will explain to you. But that was my dream when I was a child. So. When I speak about, when we speak about Bauhaus, we have to speak about Walter Gropius. Walter Gropius was the father of this movement. And it's a very interesting, Walter Gropius, it's an emblematic figure. He lived half of his life was in Europe, in Germany and in England, and the other half was in United States. He belongs both to Europe and both to the United States. He is admired and he is respected by the School of Architects from both sides of the Atlantic because he made a kind of, let's say, seminal ideas. So he built that house, Bauhaus. This house has been built in 1926-27. It was built in Dessau, in Germany. So that before that, he created in 1911 this kind of a factory-looking house somewhere in Germany, in Lower Saxony. So this Walter Gropius was thinking that he created a kind of a club, architecture and builders club, to initiate a movement which is in a way very emblematic because you can see in his design is simple. And also he was inspired like a factory-ish design with more efficient and less ornaments. But there are many other things to tell about about Bauhaus, and I don't want you as architect students or professors that you know better than me about Bauhaus. So when we speak about Bauhaus, we can create a bridge between Europe and United States, because I told you that he was very active in the United States. Gropius, he was a professor there. He was transmitting the movement to the United States, and that's how Bauhaus became an international movement. So you can see here, Bauhaus is also invaded as a style, not only outside buildings, but also what is inside, the design inside, which is the same figures, same lines, and let's say in a way minimalistical approach. But this on the right side of the screen, you can see the house of Gropius in United States. He built a house, and there he died. It's a memorial place. It's somewhere in Massachusetts, and this movement has been now, let's say, taken by the new generation, by the European Commission. It's a favorite idea of Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commissioner, and it became the NEB, the New European Bauhaus. So now, coming back to our generation, so our generations, we can say that NEB takes the spirit, but is larger. So what I mean by that, it's not only a forum of architects. It's not a movement of building houses or inside interiors with design of the architects. It's enlarged. It's a forum for discussion. It's an experimentation lab. It's a very eclectic. You can take all the styles. It's not keeping the style as Bauhaus was created. It's an accelerator for new solutions. It's a hub for global networks and experts, a meeting place for citizens interested in the topics. So it has three phases. It's a design phase to explore ideas and shape the movement. So here are designer, architects, artists, digital experts, scientists, entrepreneurs, engineers, and students. But it's a delivery phase, all of them committed to sustainability combined with art and culture. Sustainability is a key word in the new concept of Bauhaus. This is called NEB. Also each adopted it's adopted to local conditions with a specific focus on natural building materials, energy efficiency, demographics, future-oriented mobility, resource-efficient digital innovation. So as we see, as in the first day and the second day, we can see the same mantras, the same ideas about how the world is moving in sustainability. The concept of new Bauhaus takes the spirit, but is larger, as I said. It's a forum for discussions, an experimentation lab, an accelerator for new solutions, a hub for global networks and experts, a meeting place for citizens interested in the topics. So it entails a design phase to explore ideas and shape the movement. Designers, architects, artists, digital experts, scientists, entrepreneurs, engineers, students. Also, it has a delivery phase starting with 5 new European Bauhaus projects in different EU member states, all of them committed to sustainability combined with art and culture, each adapted to local conditions and with specific focus such as natural building materials, energy efficiency, demographies, future-oriented mobility, resource-efficient digital innovation. So the European Bauhaus mission is to grow and reach out beyond Europe's border. If Europe is to lead the way in the twin green and digital transition, we should look beyond the borders. We should engage in cultural debates as well. The new European Bauhaus is part of a broader vision, building the world of tomorrow for a tomorrow which is greener and more beautiful and more humane. So, of course, we speak about new Bauhaus. There were some skeptics, and skepticism came from the intention is to bring together all interested stakeholders, from architects and engineers to designers, but also from construction workers, students, and entrepreneurs. So isn't it too broad? So then it's how this search of a common sustainable design will be sustainable financed, because what we are financing, it's just ideas and concepts. but how we'll move this to a real project financing activities. So how the concept will be implemented in the member states and the movement amplified and replicated. And then again, trying to reproduce the first Bauhaus movement achievements is a good initiative, but how difficult it will be to maintain the same artistic spirit. So now, when we speak about the values of this new Bauhaus initiative, we have to look into deeper values that it happened 100 years ago. We speak about deeply entangled in relationship with other ecosystems, both human and non-human, and adopt a more than human-centric approach to design and to our built environment. The more than centric human approach means to consider the environment a part of the living creatures in the world, not only for humans. Better ways of designing, planning, building, and living together in healthy relationship with the planet. And also this transdisciplinarity contributors, including designers, artists, architects, innovators, or activists. So I tried to take out from all the debates and all the papers which are available regarding new Bauhaus initiatives, some of the ideas which can contribute to enlarge your spirit, enlarge your capacity to be creative, and why not to put some bricks to a kind of possible project which can be developed by you, together with us or together with others you consider you have in your mind. Because now we start to think about this as a reflection material for new ideas. So some of the ideas are small towns and also small rural settlements supported by digital infrastructure that collects public data on energy and heat consumption, mobility, water management, pollution. We have these groups of small towns which can get together to collect and to design a new community, energy community, for example. Empowerment of citizens and communities to make the EU Green Deal a reality. Built heritage and architecture, high quality adaptive reuse of built heritage, adaptive reuse of existing building to both protect and care for the culture of existing built fabrics, more effective use of existing resources and infrastructure. Recognize the long-term benefits of adaptive reuse over replacement. Reuse, it's a kind of a new, very important issue all over the world. It's the EU renovation wave priorities, stronger regulatory and fiscal support for renovation, energy, and upgrade. This renovation wave is a sister, let's say, initiative of the European Union in terms of sustainability, how to renovate old buildings. Take into account qualitative and intangible cultural heritage of buildings, and that support owners of public and private buildings to keep them in use. Shared knowledge repositories of best practices, adaptive reuse, and energy upgrade. Research into the technology and evaluation of high quality upgrade of existing buildings. So it's also this initiative, like many other initiatives of the European Union, are interconnected. So one bridge towards of NEB to other plans in the member states is related to twin transition revolution, a more than human approach. designing new intervention within the context of their surroundings, and it's connected interdependent systems. It considers nature not only through the human lens of conservation, but from the point of view of entanglement, ecosystem, and the right of life, geoengineering, broad generative approaches. So, for example, how far we go with our forests cutting, how much we keep the biodiversity inside the forests. We have a problem of coexistence of humans in Romania with the bears, and always we consider the bears as a threat. So most of the activists are considering bears as animals which are connected to our lives. So how to integrate these communities into a broader sense of humanity? Integrate agriculture with biodiversity, but also with rural planning, infrastructure development, energy management, and housing. And it has been said previously about how we develop this urban farming by Jason in the first day. Circular economy and organic materials. How can we use organic materials to build houses, for example? Fragile landscape, decarbonized and demineralized, substituting conventional construction material by bio-based substances or climate-neutral substances, such as clay. Cities, small towns, villages, and regions as engines for ecological transition and sustainable digitalization. So how can we transform cities and towns, villages, into this kind of engines to be active, non-neutral to the carbon emissions? Promote sustainable democratic innovation that doesn't increase social inequalities. This is, again, the problem of inclusion. Self-sufficient archipelagos, villages able to minimize travel while maintaining culture, knowledge, and information thanks to digital technology and access to fast connectivity. We may think, for example, in the Danube Delta, which is unique in Europe, that we can create such archipelagos of villages which are in a kind of, let's say, kept in a way to be self-sufficient, but also to be kind of emblematic community for regeneration processes, for independent energy consumption and things like that. Clustering of rural towns to better share capacities and resources with other towns in the area or with cities. In construction, I will not speak too much, but there is this carbon value engineering as a requirement in new building projects. It is already mentioned something by my previous speaker. So all new buildings to be designed and built with a positive energy revenue, cooperative models of co-design, shared, and operations of ownership. So another aspect which is very dear to me, it's related to One Health and food. So designing mobility around active, healthy spaces, design with nature as a force for physical and mental health in building and environmental design. So One Health movement, it's also a movement which began in the United States, and it's related to the dramatic change of the mentality in teaching disciplines in medicine. So it's taking into the body of teaching of medicine, not only human medicine, but veterinarian sciences, environmental sciences, and what also can bring health to people before going to a doctor. Prevention work and this kind of things. Then also food is part of One Health movement because we care about more healthy food. So we already know to some studies which has been developed in Europe that many domestic animals in Europe and all over the world are having inside micro plastics. So small part of plastics are already in our bodies. Cleaner, greener environments, a healthier population, and increased opportunity for social and cultural interaction. Forests, adoptive ecosystem approach to forestry management. Much forestry management is currently oriented around extractive production, so we have to keep ecological forests. Farm to fork is another, let's say, emblematic initiative of the European Union. How to co-design land use and food production systems and practices that regenerate soil, reduce methane emissions, and prevent pollution of water, co-design a new relationship with the nature and food, recognizing the importance of healthy food. Also, small farms are essential to rural culture and life, and I can tell you that some of the initiatives which will happen in the future in the villages, at least in Europe, will be related to small farming. So we are coming back to the small farming. We are coming back to encourage the small farmers to live in the villages and to sell their goods to the local communities. So another key aspect of this such extended NEB, New Bauhaus, communities of practice from EU and other countries. I insist on that because that will give us possibility to interact with you in all over the world, students from every corner of the planet. Because you can see here in yellow, more non-EU voices and additional perspective will enrich the dialogue and ground NEB ambitions. Furthermore, broader community inputs from outside EU. So in a way, we can, let's say, capitalize on this idea together. Culture and design-led approach. That means a culture and design-led approach for the transition to low carbon, regenerative, and just societies. Just societies means inclusion societies. A positive paradigm shift for pragmatic hope, grounded vision, actionable ambition. Design not only drivers to co-creation of diverse sustainable instruments, methodologies, and solutions for a just transition. So the idea of just transition, it's also in Romania, it's very important because we can have we have a lot of financing from European Union for the just transition. Why? Because in Romania we are more backward in terms of development. Some of the regions, so they have financing tools for the just transition. That means to develop the urban communities, the village communities in a sustainable manner. Climate justice is also something which is very broad and very, how to say, it's a radically inclusive. Climate justice requires the commitment, involvement of social groups and social structures, recognition of the importance of cultural interactions and relationship. And you will see when the rewarded 5 projects has been given already, you see that this has been had an importance. Education and lifelong learning are also key, both to social and environmental sustainability. Radically inclusive education is a key to create new incentives for action, changing the social conceptions and behaviors. So this is already included in the new paradigm. paradigm. Now we are also looking in the yellow part. You can see some of the points which can encourage us to work internationally. In global and inclusion and global approach, cross-domain and multi-perspective transgenerational knowledge exchange is necessary to build a deep respect for the environment. Also build respect for broad range of social, cultural, and environmental values. An intensive hands-off multidisciplinary education program that unites experts from different fields, different cultures, with those from science and technology, which can stimulate new ideas and critical views on sustainability. Inclusion may ensure economic sustainability by making the most of every talent, avoid elitism, and help abolish structural biases, create common spaces for interaction. And you will see that common space of interaction, it's a key word in the new Bauhaus initiative, where people from all parts of the society find a natural place for expression. And also global perspective, interconnectedness of our world, and eliminate polarity, reaching out to others and actively engaging with learning from experts of other parts of the world, as well as recognizing our system of everyday life are enmeshed and connected, rarely constrained by political or geographical borders. Significant polarities and inequalities also exist within Europe, with regional cultures defined by different pasts and by different differences must be actively addressed in order to give space to local stories and histories within pan-European narratives. We speak also about narratives and about branding. An empathetic and responsible stance that acknowledges and addresses local and global stories and histories. So we can speak about histories as well. As climate migration increases in the scale, welcome people expanding and enrich European identities. So I will finish soon with these long ideas from different part of the concept of new Bauhaus. One idea is global interconnection and cultural hybridity. So it's the idea of foster cohesion, collaboration, and common sense of belonging among European countries, while at the same time it should not regard practitioners from beyond the European borders as receivers of standards developed within European Union, but as respected teachers, experts, and source of inspiration and knowledge. This openness to diversity needs to balance the possibility of creative cultural hybridity with the need to respect cultural heritage and preservation. I have to tell you that this cultural hybridity, it's a kind of a thing I have to think, we have to think more, because the concept of cultural hybridity, it's a concept of entanglement of cultures. Why this is very important in Europe? Because as you know, we are not like United States. We are not built on societies which at the first, they're mixed at the beginning. German communities with Scandinavian communities, Romanian communities, Polish communities, Chinese communities, and other communities. They were mixed together from the early stage of the history of the United States. In Europe, we have these cultural boundaries still existing and persistent. So the hybridity between the cultures in Europe makes sense, but also makes sense hybridity of cultures not only in Europe, but also in hybridity between other countries in the world with cultures. So there is, let's say, this hybridity culture and transdisciplinarity of this movement. It's amazing. So sometimes you think that new European Bauhaus, has a kind of a grandeur, like in French. Perhaps it's something which wants to to take together in a, let's say, a revolutionary way. So now that first selected projects have been shortlisted, and they won very recently. So we can speak about this selected project May 2020 this year. There have been rewarded from 11 states 5 projects. That happened very recently. So these are the 5 projects. So that's just to think together. If we can, look into the second or third wave of, because this initiative has financing year by year, we can think about a project to be applied to the next call in new European Bauhaus. So let's see about the project which has been awarded. Just now, I just showed to you how many ideas are floating about new European Bauhaus. Now we can see how some of the consortia which has been built in Europe got the projects among other projects in a competition mood. So that were the first rewarded projects in the history of new European Bauhaus. So the first was Culture Campus. It's a hub of arts, research, learning, and community as a catalyst through blending education, research, policy, and culture, and considering the life experience of its residents. Culture Campus, it's in the Rotterdam South. It's in Netherlands, but it's a project which has been developed together with other European partners. But it's developed long time. It was developed long time by Rotterdam South. Why Rotterdam South? Because Rotterdam South, it's a kind of mixed cultures. There are migrants there. There is a poor. People in the neighborhoods of Rotterdam, which are not with high revenues. So that was one. Another one, it's the project in Stavanger, which is in Norway, which it's about territorial transformation. This concept has been a project making linkages between two quarters of the same city. So communities of different parts of a city, they get together to exchange ideas in order to recreate the city. So cycling lines. That because Norway cycling also through cycling, but also through tourism. The neighborhoods, which is a project in Munich. It's a project which is also based on vast green areas, large-scale housing, and renovated buildings. Also, it's addressing to weaknesses like high unemployment and less education levels in some areas of the city. Desire, it's another project to tackle with major challenges faced by society. And Ehur, it's the last one to support cities and vulnerable residents transforming their built environment, spread across 7 different locations in EU. So this is Cultural Campus City future in the first Culture Campus. You see here, it's a place of experiments in culture and technology, addressed to the citizens of the community. So Nebstar, this one, it's from Stavanger Kommune, which is, as I told you, the two areas of a city which are getting together, which want to combine their forces to attract more tourism, but also to make the environment more friendly for and healthier for their citizens. And this last slide is about EHUR. I just took because we do not have too much knowledge about what is going on with this project. They have been already awarded, but their life cycle, it's already starting these days. So we do not know too much about their development and their perspectives. But what I have seen, what I can found searching on internet, I found some clippings from Kozani local press in Greece. This is a city among the cities in the last project. And what they are trying to make a kind of a urban revolution. And the idea is here to borrow different practices and to co-create different practices in order to create the city more sustainable. So they are getting together cities from Portugal, Greece, and other areas of Europe in order to exchange views on how to make the urban planning more sustainable. What is interesting in this clipping is that the mayor of the municipality of Kozani, it's very much proud about this. Kozani, it's a small city in Greece, in the continental Greece. It's in Macedonia, and they are proud to get their town, a small town of 70,000 inhabitants. They are very proud to get their town in this contest. It's a kind of a branding of the city. It's a kind of, let's say, giving impulse to the community. They are proud to promote themselves in this contest, in this project. So this is also contributing to the branding of a community when you are getting this kind of initiatives and it's recognized internationally.